August 1st. I don't even know what time it is, maybe close to 8 o'clock. Gotta get the watering done. I think we have a 30% chance of rain tonight, but we've gone 2 or 3 days without rain now, which is kind of amazing, considering the month we've had. And I've gone through and fertilized, side dressed all of the peppers and tomatoes, and so I need to water those all in. So these are the poblanos. Picked a bunch the other day so we can make dinner, but I really like these. I'm hoping to try doing some freezing of these as well if I can get them going. There's a lot of little baby poblanos, or some people call them anchos. So we'll see. But the day got away from me a little bit, trying to get everything done. So I'm gonna give the garden tour for this week while I am watering. We got the carrot bags over here. Zinnias. These ones are the smaller, regular size zinnias. I like them all right. I think with the smaller pot it makes sense, but I do tend to like the giant ones that I've grown on the whiskey barrels better. Over here, you can see the pumpkin has really taken off. There's a baby one on there. No real male flowers have opened yet, so I'll be watching that. The cucumbers are doing pretty good too, sprinkled in there, as well as the pole beans. The cucumbers, I have actually picked a couple of the pickling. They're all pickling size, so that's the deal there. The carrots on the front here, we have, I think, 3 or 4 different types going. Let's see, babies. I've been looking for squash bugs and vine borers and all that. Haven't seen that many over here. They actually, I think growing the potatoes has helped a lot, because the squash bugs really like the potatoes. And to finish watering this bed as well. I got distracted. So because we were having such a cooler summer, I decided to try planting a late succession of peas, and they're actually doing really well. So we might have some peas in the next week or so. With all the rain, they love water, and highs being low 80s, 70s, not mid 90s or anything. They're doing pretty good. So I've got peas mixed into the beans on this side, and some cucamelons, or Mexican sour cucumbers, they're also called. Here's some more zinnias. I was trying to spread out some of the flowers. There, we still have to finish that last bed. It's on the list, but we ended up going to Vermont for the part of the weekend, so had to just kind of catch up on some of the other things today instead of adding more. Here's the cucamelons that we have growing right now. That's the babies. I already picked them tonight, so that's kind of fun. Alright, so over here, on this ridge back here, I planted a bunch of wildflowers, dill, I think even bunching onions. I just grabbed a scoop with the tractor, with a John Deere, and then threw a bunch of seeds down. Some zinnias and a few other things. So that'll be kind of fun. They're coming up really well. I got this new bug spray up in Winchendon, Massachusetts, not too far from us. There's a cute little Homestead store. And yeah, so I'm using this new bug spray. Trying that out. Which has been good. Gonna make sure to bring it back inside. Really fun meeting other people that like to do what we like to do. So I'm excited. She does some classes, craft classes, I guess, up there as well. So I'll be checking those out hopefully soon. I'll tag her for anyone who's local that's watching this, although I think most people aren't. But still pretty neat. Nice to go check out a new shop. We've got a bunch of carrots around the peppers in this bed. I picked most of the red peppers tonight already. I'll post out the harvest baskets from this week. But my concept was to kind of put carrots wherever I had space. That way it would allow me to utilize more space, but also it would give us enough carrots that we could hopefully really store some for the winter. These are the Thai chilies, the extra hot Thai chilies here. I'll show you. And then we picked a lot of the pepperoncinis, but the ones that were going red I left down there. And Jay pickled a bunch of pepperoncinis, so you can have those for sandwiches as well. And then over on the end here, these are poblanos. These are the smaller. They're not as good as the ones in the bags, which is kind of what I expected. With the straw on, I don't tend to have to water this bed nearly as much, which is nice. Just get the carrots on the end here. Over here is the potato bed we switched over that I planted seeds last week. So you'll see we've got the bush beans around the edge were already there from before we removed the potatoes. Added a lot of compost in there, and then I added bush beans. These are beets here. And then I did a bunch of carrots and now there's something else in the middle here. And then over here, it's getting a little dark, but you'll see some lettuce starts, some pelleted lettuce that I did. So, and then I just dressed it with some, actually just some fine potting soil up on the top instead of compost over it. So those are doing really well. We still have some beans on the bush beans that we'll probably eat this week. Not getting a ton from those, but it is nice. It's actually been a good amount for us for dinner. Over here we've got our bell peppers. We already harvested just under or about 7¼ pounds that we froze, and then we've been eating them and putting them in salsas as well. So that's been good. We fertilized this bed because it was getting a little bit light. There's so much in here, I kind of assumed that I need to fertilize every 2 weeks on this. Over here I've got some peach scotch bonnets and some orange habaneros, a yellow Thai back there. I'm going to post the video from earlier about doing the lower and lean for the tomatoes, and I'll probably do a hot pepper greenhouse update a little bit separately. But this bed is pretty fantastic, and the fact that it's wild. So I've got carrots, onions, and tomatoes, lettuce, some osteospermum, African daisies, and some of the giant marigolds scattered throughout this bed. And I've just kind of let it go wild, and every few weeks I come back and trim it, so I just trimmed that today. It's looking a little bit better. But I'll cut to some of the footage I took earlier of the cayennes and flowers and potatoes and other things in these other beds, as well as our field corn. So, getting a little too dark out here. So, I'm using the John Deere constantly. Jay and I kind of fight over it, actually. It's kind of funny. I used it this morning, he used it this afternoon. Now I'm going to use it again. He just was using it down the driveway. I'll have to try to have the intro. You probably would have just watched the intro from driving up the driveway on the tractor. But yeah, he did a lot of cleanup down there. Had the weed whacker, the blower in there. He even had to use the chainsaw a little bit. And this big tool rack is able to have the chainsaw have its own home, which is great. All the rakes and shovels and everything. I had the fertilizer that I need to go use down in the lower garden. I was using the shovels on it earlier with a bucket of compost to fill some of the potato bags and one of the raised beds back up. So very, very useful. The cayennes are just about ready to pick. So technically peppers are not ripe until they're red. Their flavor changes a lot. So we've got just a little bit more on some of these. Frank's hot sauce, or Frank's Red Hot, which a lot of people use for buffalo sauce, is made out of cayennes, fermented cayennes. And so we plan on making more of that. We also use cayennes in salsas. We use it in a lot of the other hot sauces as fillers behind things like ghosts or scorpions, or even the Thai chilies. They complement each other really well. That can wait another day, which is great. You can see here, this is a Cherokee Carbon. Not ready yet, but there's another Cherokee Carbon there. Some of these are absolutely huge. I think my biggest one to date was, for this year, was 1 pound, 3 ounces maybe. And I've got beef steak in the back, which is another heirloom, but those do go pretty red. And then I've got a bunch of the cherries, which Jay will like. We have these giant marigolds. I'll show you one of the ones over there that's actually blooming, that I put on the bunch of the corners of these beds. And they are absolutely gorgeous. Now they've started blooming. I'll pick this one. Yeah, you can see all these carrots are coming in pretty nicely. There, we've got some beets. Here, everything needs water today. It's been a couple days without water. There's some more beets there. Parsley and basil we have in this bed. It's really coming along. Midsummer gardens are kind of fun because I've switched things over at this point. I've got a couple new crops coming in. I've got old crops coming out. You know, we've already harvested these 2 beds over here of potatoes and switched them over. So I've got another, this is the new crop of potatoes in here. It's purple, Yukon Gold, and russet. Zinnias are doing pretty good. They're starting to go by. I need to start some more flowers to put in there for the fall. And then the cosmos are still coming. I deadheaded some of them as well. And I've got 2 different types of beets in the grow bags over here. Golden beets and red, dark red, I believe. Things that are in this bed besides the tomatoes over here, we've got parsley, osteospermum. I love these flowers. I have a couple different colors this year that I did. I'm gonna try to collect seeds. We'll see. Got oregano, alyssum that started from seed. Here's one of the zinnias that just came out. Marigold, I'd started from seed. This is one of the giant marigolds. I just think it's gorgeous. Our corn is doing pretty fantastic. It's a Silver Queen here on the left, and on the right is Incredible, I think.